Hey guys, we are in day 246 in our Bible reading plan. End of Job, Job 40 through 42, and Psalm 33. For those of you who are counting, I'll give you an update on which book of the Bible we're starting tomorrow. Fun times, man. We're just going through these books one by one. The big idea today is this. We are far less in control of our lives and far more responsible for our actions, and I should say our words, than we think we are, than we assume we are, than we will realize we are someday. God will hold us accountable for everything. That is not a threat. That's not like, but it is a warning, and it is a warning worth heeding. And certainly for those of us like myself who are prone to say a lot in life, to express verbally a lot of what goes on in our minds, it is a caution to be slow to speak, quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. God continues his takedown of Job, but loving showdown. We start off though with God asking Job, shall a fault finder contend with the Almighty? Like, who are we to question God? And how often have we questioned God's wisdom? I'm going through some difficult trials right now, so certainly understand that, where we're like, God, how could you do this? Don't you see? And why? We ask those questions, and God reminds us, shall a fault finder, that's us, contend with the Almighty, that's God. And he asks us, answer, come on. And Job's answer says, behold, I am of small account. What shall I answer? I lay my hand on my mouth. I've spoken once and I will not answer twice, but I will proceed no further. He's learned and he's going to be humbled. He's had a sense of entitlement and pride and maybe some bitterness that have crept in, and now he takes it back. And the Lord, again, out of the whirlwind, goes on and points out all of the ways that he's in control. The Leviathan is spoken of a few times in the Old Testament, and he's a picture of the evil one, Satan, in some ways. And I love verse 11 of chapter 41. Who has first given to God that we should repay him? So by the end of this talk with God, Job is, at this point, obviously his face is in the ground. And so we see more of his heart in chapter 42, which is my favorite chapter in the book. Although the beginning is cool, I love this chapter. And so he says, again, a reminder to himself, I know that you can do all things, and that no purpose of yours can be thwarted. And that right there is probably where the money is for me. This is who God is. He is a God who does what he has promised, and he will always come through for us. Nothing can stand in his way. Not Satan, not Job's friends, not Job, not his wife. And he says, therefore, I've uttered what I did not understand, things too wonderful for me, which I did not know. I think every one of us is going to say that when we face the Lord someday. He said, I had heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eyes sees you. And I believe one of the goals of suffering is to draw us into a deeper experience with God. I really believe that. And the Lord will do that through any means that we would experience him more. And if you're going through trials and circumstances that seem out of your ability to control, perhaps at the end of it, that's going to be the gift. And so we look at the gift as, oh man, he restored the fortunes of Job when he prayed for his friends, which is another nugget. Like, God takes to task the three friends, and then he says, I will accept the prayer of Job. And Job does pray, which reveals his humility and his repentance and his understanding and his love. And then God gives back everything. And so he dies an old man and full of days. And while that might be where we look at his hurrah, really maybe the biggest point of impact is that Job understood who God is a little bit more. And so are you understanding God a little bit more today? Are you surrendering and submitting to him no matter what you're going through? That's the goal of the book of Job. Love you guys, and I'm praying that God would give us a heart that are humble.